Let's get ready for the Maine real estate exam with 100 questions covering key state laws, principles, and practices you'll need to know. And keep an eye on the bottom corner. There's something there that could make a big difference in your prep. We'll tell you how to use it in just a minute. Now, let's get started.
Let's start with a quick review of licensing requirements and procedures. Maine licensing requirements and procedures. What is the minimum age requirement to apply for a real estate license in Maine? Is it A, 16 years old, B, 18 years old, C, 21 years old, or D, 25 years old? The answer is B, 18 years old. In Maine, applicants must be at least 18 years old to apply for a real estate license. This requirement ensures that candidates have reached the age of majority and are legally capable of entering into contracts. How many hours of pre-licensing education are required for a real estate salesperson license in Maine? Is it A, 30 hours, B, 40 hours, C, 55 hours, or D, 5 hours? The answer is C, 55 hours. Maine requires 55 hours of pre-licensing education for aspiring real estate salespersons. This education covers fundamental real estate concepts and prepares candidates for the licensing exam.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsy.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsy, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
Which of the following is a requirement for obtaining a real estate broker license in Maine? Is it A, completion of 20 hours of continuing education, B, passing the national portion of the licensing exam only, C, no prior experience is required, or D, 2 years of active experience as a licensed salesperson? The answer is D, 2 years of active experience as a licensed salesperson. To obtain a broker license in Maine, applicants must have at least 2 years of active experience as a licensed salesperson. This ensures brokers have sufficient experience in the field. Which entity is responsible for issuing real estate licenses in Maine? Is it A, Maine Department of Revenue, B, Maine Housing Authority, C, Maine Real Estate Commission, or D, Maine Board of Realty? The answer is C, Maine Real Estate Commission. In Maine, the Maine Real Estate Commission, part of the Maine Department of Professional and Financial Regulation, is responsible for issuing real estate licenses, ensuring compliance with state regulations, and overseeing the professional conduct of licensees. Continuing education requirements. What is the minimum number of continuing education hours required for a real estate license renewal in Maine? Is it A, 10 hours, B, 15 hours, C, 21 hours, or D, 30 hours? The answer is C, 21 hours. In Maine, real estate licensees must complete a minimum of 21 hours of continuing education every 2 years to maintain their active license status. Which of the following courses is mandatory for continuing education for Maine real estate licensees? Is it A, Real Estate Marketing, B, Core Course on Legal Updates, C, Advanced Negotiation Techniques, or D, Property Management Basics? The answer is B, Core Course on Legal Updates. Maine requires licensees to complete a core course on legal updates and real estate practices, ensuring they stay informed about changes in laws and regulations. How often must Maine real estate licensees complete their continuing education requirements? Is it A, every 2 years, B, annually, C, every 3 years, or D, every 5 years? The answer is A, every 2 years. Maine real estate licensees are required to complete their continuing education requirements every 2 years to ensure their knowledge remains current. Which entity is responsible for approving continuing education courses for real estate licensees in Maine? Is it A, National Association of Realtors, B, Maine Department of Education, C, Maine Board of Real Estate, or D, Maine Real Estate Commission? The answer is D, Maine Real Estate Commission. The Maine Real Estate Commission is responsible for approving continuing education courses, ensuring they meet state standards and requirements for license renewal. Maine-specific exam structure and content. What is the minimum passing score required for the Maine Real Estate Sales Agent Licensing Exam? Is it A, 70%, B, 75%, C, 80%, or D, 85%? The answer is B, 75%. In Maine, candidates must achieve a minimum score of 75% to pass the Real Estate Sales Agent Licensing Exam. This ensures that the candidate has a comprehensive understanding of the necessary real estate principles and regulations. What is the primary focus of the Maine-specific section of the Real Estate Licensing Exam? Is it A, Maine real estate laws and regulations, B, federal real estate laws, C, general real estate principles, or D, real estate finance? The answer is A, Maine real estate laws and regulations. The Maine-specific section of the exam focuses on real estate laws, regulations, and practices unique to Maine. Understanding these local laws is crucial for practicing real estate effectively within the state. Which of the following is not a content area covered in the Maine Real Estate Licensing Exam? Is it A, property ownership, B, contracts, C, financing, or D, environmental law? The answer is D, environmental law. The Maine Real Estate Licensing Exam covers various content areas such as property ownership, contracts, and financing. Environmental law is typically not a core content area of this exam. Which of the following topics is emphasized in the Maine-specific exam content? Is it A, real estate investment strategies, B, property disclosure laws, C, environmental regulations, or D, marketing techniques? The answer is B, property disclosure laws. The Maine-specific exam places emphasis on property disclosure laws, which are critical for ensuring transparency in real estate transactions and protecting consumer rights in the state. Maine real estate laws and regulations. Maine-specific fair housing laws. Under Maine's fair housing laws, which of the following is considered a protected class? Is it A, employment status, B, pet ownership, C, familial status, or D, credit score? The answer is C, familial status. Maine's fair housing laws protect individuals from discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, and familial status. These protections ensure equal access to housing opportunities. What is the primary goal of Maine's Fair Housing Act? Is it A, to eliminate discrimination in housing, B, to regulate housing prices, C, to ensure safety in housing, or D, to promote home ownership? The answer is A, to eliminate discrimination in housing. The primary goal of Maine's Fair Housing Act is to eliminate discrimination in housing and ensure that everyone has equal access to housing opportunities, regardless of their protected class status. Which agency is responsible for enforcing fair housing laws in Maine? Is it A, Department of Housing and Urban Development, B, Maine Human Rights Commission, C, Maine Real Estate Commission, or D, Maine Department of Economic and Community Development? The answer is B, Maine Human Rights Commission. In Maine, the Maine Human Rights Commission is the agency responsible for enforcing fair housing laws addressing complaints and ensuring compliance with legal standards. Which of the following actions is prohibited under Maine's fair housing laws? Is it A, charging higher rent based on market demand? B, requiring a security deposit? C, conducting a background check? Or D, refusing to rent to someone because of their race? The answer is D, refusing to rent to someone because of their race. Refusing to rent to someone because of their race is a clear violation of Maine's fair housing laws, which prohibit discrimination based on protected class status. How does Maine's fair housing law differ from federal fair housing law? Is it A, includes protections for sexual orientation and gender identity? B, excludes protection for familial status? C, focuses solely on rental properties? Or D, only applies to urban areas? The answer is A, includes protections for sexual orientation and gender identity. Maine's fair housing law includes additional protections not covered by federal law, such as protection based on sexual orientation and gender identity, reflecting the state's commitment to broader anti-discrimination measures. Which of the following is an example of discrimination prohibited under Maine's fair housing laws? Is it A, offering different rental terms to all tenants? B, charging higher rent for larger apartments? C, refusing to rent to someone because of their national origin? Or D, providing accessibility features for disabled tenants? The answer is C, refusing to rent to someone because of their national origin. Maine's fair housing laws prohibit discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, familial status, and disability. Refusing to rent based on any of these protected characteristics is illegal.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsy.
Maine-specific contract requirements. What is the minimum legal requirement for a valid real estate contract in Maine? Is it A, only the buyer's signature? B, a verbal agreement? C, identification of parties and property description? Or D, notarization? The answer is C, identification of parties and property description. A valid real estate contract in Maine must include the identification of parties, property description, consideration, and signatures of the parties involved to be enforceable. Under Maine law, what is required for a contract to be considered executed? Is it A, only the buyer has signed the contract? B, all parties have signed the contract? C, the contract is notarized? Or D, the property has been inspected? The answer is B, all parties have signed the contract. An executed contract in Maine means all parties have fulfilled their obligations and the contract has been signed by all involved parties. What is the statute of limitations for filing a lawsuit regarding a breach of contract in Maine? Is it A, 6 years, B, 3 years, C, 10 years, or D, 5 years? The answer is A, 6. In Maine, the statute of limitations for filing a lawsuit for breach of contract is 6 years from the date of the breach. Which of the following is not a required element of a real estate contract in Maine? Is it A, property description? B, consideration? C, signatures of the parties? Or D, notarization? The answer is D, notarization. Maine real estate contracts require parties' identification, property description, consideration, and signatures. Notarization is not required, although it may be beneficial. What is the purpose of the time is of the essence clause in Maine real estate contracts? Is it A, to allow flexibility in deadlines? B, to emphasize strict adherence to deadlines? C, to permit extensions without penalty? Or D, to provide a grace period for performance? The answer is B, to emphasize strict adherence to deadlines. The time is of the essence clause in Maine real estate contracts emphasizes that deadlines are strict and must be adhered to, making timely performance crucial. In Maine, what is the required time frame for a buyer to terminate a contract based on a property inspection contingency? Is it A, 5 days, B, 10 days, C, 15 days, or D, 20 days? The answer is B, 10 days. In Maine, buyers typically have 10 days to terminate a contract based on inspection contingencies, unless otherwise specified. This allows buyers to ensure the property meets their satisfaction before proceeding.
Stuck on a question? Just think of the Birdsy link in the description as your friendly neighborhood superhero, swooping in to save the day with answers. Feel free to explore it now and return to continue. Simply hit pause, and we'll be waiting when you get back.
Overview of Maine real estate statutes. What is the primary purpose of the Maine Real Estate Commission? Is it A, to set property tax rates, B, to regulate real estate practice and protect the public, C, to provide mortgage loans, or D, to manage state-owned properties? The answer is B, to regulate real estate practice and protect the public. The Maine Real Estate Commission regulates the practice of real estate to protect the public from unethical practices. They oversee licensing, education, and enforcement of real estate laws. Which of the following is required to obtain a real estate salesperson license in Maine? Is it A, a degree in real estate, B, 3 years of real estate experience, C, completion of a pre-license course and passing the state exam, or D, ownership of a real estate firm? The answer is C, completion of a pre-license course and passing the state exam. Prospective real estate salespersons in Maine must complete a pre-license course, pass the state exam, and be sponsored by a licensed broker to obtain their license. What is the legal requirement for disclosing property defects in Maine? Is it A, sellers must disclose known material defects, B, sellers can choose to disclose defects at their discretion, C, disclosure is only required for properties over 50 years old, or D, buyers must request defect information in writing? The answer is A, sellers must disclose known material defects. Maine law mandates that sellers disclose known material defects to buyers. This ensures transparency and protects buyers from unforeseen issues with the property. How often must a real estate license be renewed in Maine? Is it A, every year, B, every 3 years, C, every 5 years, or D, every 2 years? The answer is D, every 2 years. Maine requires real estate licenses to be renewed every 2 years. This ensures that licensees remain updated on current laws and practices through continuing education. Maine property ownership and land use. Types of property ownership, e.g. fee simple, leasehold, joint tenancy. In Maine, which type of property ownership grants the owner the most comprehensive rights over the property? Is it A, fee simple, B, leasehold, C, joint tenancy, or D, tenancy in common? The answer is A, fee simple. Fee simple ownership is the most complete form of property ownership in Maine, providing the owner with indefinite duration and full rights to use, transfer, or inherit the property. Which type of co-ownership in Maine allows owners to have unequal shares and no right of survivorship? Is it A, joint tenancy, B, tenancy by the entirety, C, fee simple, or D, tenancy in common? The answer is D, tenancy in common. Tenancy in common allows co-owners to hold unequal shares and does not include the right of survivorship, meaning each owner's share can be inherited separately. In Maine, what distinguishes a leasehold estate from other types of property ownership? Is it A, permanent ownership, B, temporary right to use, C, right of survivorship, or D, equal shares? The answer is B, temporary right to use. A leasehold estate is characterized by a temporary right to use land or property, typically outlined in a lease agreement, distinguishing it from permanent ownership types like fee simple. What is a key feature of joint tenancy in Maine that affects how ownership is transferred upon death? Is it A, unequal ownership shares, B, inheritance by will, C, right of survivorship, or D, lease agreement? The answer is C, right of survivorship. Joint tenancy includes the right of survivorship, meaning that upon the death of one owner, their share automatically transfers to the surviving joint tenants. Public versus private land use controls. Which of the following is a primary function of zoning laws in Maine? Is it A, regulating land use and development, B, determining property tax rates, C, issuing building permits, or D, enforcing environmental regulations? The answer is A, regulating land use and development. Zoning laws regulate land use and development, ensuring orderly growth and protecting property values by designating specific areas for residential, commercial, or industrial use. What is the primary purpose of a conservation easement in Maine? Is it A, to allow unrestricted development, B, to protect land for conservation purposes, C, to increase property tax revenue, or D, to promote commercial use of land? The answer is B, to protect land for conservation purposes. A conservation easement is a legal agreement that permanently limits uses of the land to protect its conservation values, often used to preserve natural resources and wildlife habitats. Which entity typically enforces zoning regulations in Maine? Is it A, state government, B, federal government, C, local municipalities, or D, real estate agencies? The answer is C, local municipalities. Local municipalities enforce zoning regulations, ensuring compliance with designated land uses and maintaining community development standards. In Maine, what is the primary role of a homeowners association regarding land use? Is it A, to regulate statewide zoning laws, B, to issue building permits, C, to manage conservation easements, or D, to enforce community rules and restrictions? The answer is D, to enforce community rules and restrictions. HOAs enforce community rules and maintain shared spaces, ensuring compliance with covenants and restrictions to uphold property values and community standards. Land use and zoning laws. Which of the following is a primary purpose of zoning laws in Maine? Is it A, to increase property taxes, B, to promote historical preservation, C, to separate incompatible land uses, or D, to regulate traffic flow? The answer is C, to separate incompatible land uses. Zoning laws in Maine are primarily intended to separate different land uses to protect public health, safety, and welfare by preventing incompatible land uses from being located too close to each other. What is a variance in the context of Maine zoning laws? Is it A, a change in property ownership, B, a temporary building permit, C, a rezoning of a district, or D, an exception to zoning rules? The answer is D, an exception to zoning rules. A variance is a legal exception to a zoning ordinance, allowing a property owner to use their land in a way that deviates from the zoning regulations due to unique circumstances. How are nonconforming uses typically handled under Maine zoning laws? Is it A, they must be immediately terminated, B, they may continue but not expand, C, they can be freely expanded, or D, they automatically convert to conforming uses? The answer is B, they may continue but not expand. Non-conforming uses are generally allowed to continue but cannot be expanded. They are uses that existed before the current zoning laws were implemented and do not comply with them. What is the role of a planning board in Maine regarding land use? Is it A, to review development proposals, B, to enforce building codes, C, to set property tax rates, or D, to manage public utilities? The answer is A, to review development proposals. A planning board in Maine reviews development proposals and ensures they comply with zoning laws and land use plans, playing a crucial role in managing land use and community development.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsy.
Condominiums and HOAs. In Maine, what is the primary governing document for a condominium association? Is it A, B, declaration, C, rules and regulations, or D, covenants, conditions, and restrictions? The answer is B, declaration. The declaration is the primary governing document for a condominium association in Maine. It outlines the rights and obligations of unit owners and the association, including common area maintenance. Which of the following is a responsibility of a homeowners association in Maine? Is it A, maintaining common areas, B, providing individual unit repairs, C, enforcing state property laws, or D, managing individual property taxes? The answer is A, maintaining common areas. HOAs in Maine are responsible for maintaining common areas, ensuring they are safe and aesthetically pleasing for all residents, as outlined in the association's governing documents. What must a condominium association in Maine provide to prospective buyers? Is it A, a list of current residents, B, a recent property appraisal, C, a copy of the bylaws, or D, a public offering statement? The answer is D, a public offering statement. Condominium associations in Maine must provide a public offering statement to prospective buyers, detailing important information about the association, fees, and property condition. How does Maine law require condominium associations to fund reserve accounts? Is it A, through special assessments only, B, by state funding, C, by regular assessments, or D, through voluntary contributions? The answer is C, by regular assessments. Maine law mandates that condominium associations maintain reserve accounts funded through regular assessments to cover future repair and replacement costs of common elements. Environmental issues and waterfront land use. Which of the following is a primary concern when developing waterfront property in Maine? Is it A, erosion control, B, building height, C, traffic congestion, or D, noise pollution? The answer is A, erosion control. Erosion control is crucial in waterfront development to prevent land loss and protect water quality. Proper measures help maintain the integrity of the shoreline and minimize environmental impact. What is the purpose of the Shoreline Zoning Act in Maine? Is it A, to increase property tax revenue, B, to protect water quality and wildlife habitats, C, to promote tourism, or D, to enhance recreational facilities? The answer is B, to protect water quality and wildlife habitats. The Shoreline Zoning Act aims to protect water quality and wildlife habitats by regulating land use in areas adjacent to water bodies. It ensures sustainable development along Maine's shorelines. How does Maine's Natural Resources Protection Act affect waterfront land use? Is it A, it reduces property taxes for waterfront owners, B, it promotes commercial development, C, it requires permits for alterations in sensitive areas, or D, it deregulates construction in coastal zones? The answer is C. It requires permits for alterations in sensitive areas. The NRPA regulates activities in sensitive areas like wetlands and shorelines to protect natural resources. It requires permits for alterations, ensuring environmental impacts are considered in development projects. What is a key environmental consideration for property owners along Maine's coastline? Is it A, air pollution, B, deforestation, C, increased tourism, or D, sea level rise? The answer is D, sea level rise. Sea level rise poses a significant risk to coastal properties by increasing the likelihood of flooding and erosion. Owners must plan for these changes to protect their investments. Maine Agency Law and Ethics. Agency relationship laws. What is the primary duty of a real estate agent under Maine agency law when representing a client? Is it A, maximize their own commission, B, act in the best interest of their client, C, ensure the property sells quickly, or D, avoid all communication with other agents? The answer is B, act in the best interest of their client. Under Maine agency law, the primary duty of a real estate agent is to act in the best interest of their client, which includes providing honest and fair advice and maintaining confidentiality. Which of the following is not considered a fiduciary duty of a real estate agent in Maine? Is it A, loyalty, B, confidentiality, C, disclosure, or D, marketing? The answer is D, marketing. Fiduciary duties in Maine include loyalty, obedience, disclosure, confidentiality, accounting, and reasonable care. Marketing is a task, not a fiduciary duty, and is not legally required. In Maine, when must a real estate agent disclose their agency relationship to a potential buyer? Is it A, after the first offer is made, B, at the closing of the transaction, C, at the first substantive contact, or D, when the buyer requests it? The answer is C, at the first substantive contact. Maine law requires agents to disclose their agency relationship at the first substantive contact with a potential buyer, ensuring transparency and informed decision-making. What is the consequence for a real estate agent in Maine who fails to disclose a dual agency relationship? Is it A, disciplinary action and possible fines, B, immediate termination of the agency agreement, C, no consequence unless a complaint is filed, or D, a warning from the Real Estate Commission? The answer is A, disciplinary action and possible fines. Failing to disclose a dual agency relationship can lead to disciplinary action, including fines and license suspension, as it violates the duty of disclosure under Maine agency law. Fiduciary duties and client representation. What is the primary fiduciary duty of loyalty in Maine agency law? Is it A, to disclose all defects of a property, B, to act in the best interest of the client, C, to manage the client's finances, or D, to maintain confidentiality indefinitely? The answer is B, to act in the best interest of the client. The duty of loyalty requires agents to act solely in the best interest of their client, avoiding any conflicts of interest. This duty ensures that agents prioritize their clients' needs and goals above their own. Which fiduciary duty requires a Maine real estate agent to keep their client's information private? Is it A, confidentiality, B, obedience, C, or D, disclosure? The answer is A, confidentiality. The duty of confidentiality mandates that agents must not disclose any personal or sensitive information about their client without permission, even after the agency relationship ends. How does the duty of disclosure affect a real estate agent's behavior in Maine? Is it A, it allows agents to withhold negative information about a property, B, it requires agents to only disclose information if asked by the client, C. It mandates agents to inform clients of all material facts. Or D. It permits agents to share client information with other parties. The answer is C. It mandates agents to inform clients of all material facts. The duty of disclosure requires agents to inform their clients of all material facts that could influence the client's decision-making process, ensuring transparency and informed consent. What is the significance of the fiduciary duty of care in Maine real estate transactions? Is it A. It allows agents to act with minimal effort. B. It obligates agents to prioritize their own interests. C. It focuses solely on financial transactions. Or D. It ensures agents act competently and diligently. The answer is D. It ensures agents act competently and diligently. The duty of care requires agents to exercise competence and diligence in their duties, ensuring clients receive professional and accurate service, which includes thorough market analysis and proper handling of contracts. Maine Ethics Guidelines and Enforcement. What is the primary purpose of the Maine Real Estate Ethics Guidelines? Is it A. To promote trust and integrity in the industry? B. To increase real estate sales? C. To regulate commission rates? Or D. To reduce competition among agents? The answer is A. To promote trust and integrity in the industry. The primary purpose of Maine Real Estate Ethics Guidelines is to ensure real estate professionals act in a manner that promotes trust and integrity in the industry, protecting both clients and the public. Which entity is responsible for enforcing ethical guidelines in Maine real estate? Is it A. Maine Association of Realtors? B. Maine Real Estate Commission? C. Maine Department of Economic Development? Or D. Maine Attorney General's Office? The answer is B. Maine Real Estate Commission. The Maine Real Estate Commission is the entity responsible for enforcing ethical guidelines, ensuring compliance, and addressing violations within the real estate industry. What is a potential consequence for a Maine real estate agent found in violation of ethical guidelines? Is it A. Mandatory community service? B. Increased commission rates? C. License suspension or revocation? Or D. Promotion to a higher position? The answer is C. License suspension or revocation. Violations of ethical guidelines can lead to disciplinary actions such as fines, license suspension, or revocation, depending on the severity of the infraction. How often must Maine real estate professionals complete ethics training? Is it A. Annually? B. Biennially? C. Every 5 years? Or D. Only upon license renewal? The answer is B. Biennially. Maine real estate professionals are required to complete ethics training biennially to ensure they remain informed about ethical standards and practices.
Notice the code in the corner? When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsy.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
Maine Property Valuation. Basic principles of property valuation. What is the primary purpose of a property valuation in Maine? Is it A. To establish rental prices? B. To determine fair market value? C. To calculate insurance premiums? Or D. To set mortgage interest rates? The answer is B. To determine fair market value. The primary purpose of property valuation in Maine is to determine the fair market value for transactions, taxation, and other legal purposes, ensuring equitable and accurate assessments. Which approach to property valuation considers the cost to rebuild a property? Is it A. Income approach? B. Sales comparison approach? C. Cost approach? Or D. Market approach? The answer is C. Cost approach. The cost approach estimates property value by considering the cost to replace or reproduce the property minus depreciation plus land value, providing a current market value. In Maine, which factor is least likely to affect a property's market value? Is it A, location, B, property condition, C, economic trends, or D, personal tastes of buyers? The answer is D, personal tastes of buyers. Personal tastes of potential buyers are subjective and less predictable, thus having minimal direct impact on the objective market value of a property. What does the term highest and best use mean in property valuation? Is it A, the most profitable legal use of a property, B, the current use of the property, C, the intended use by the owner, or D, the historical use of the property? The answer is A, the most profitable legal use of a property. Highest and best use refers to the most profitable legal use of a property, considering its potential to generate the greatest value under current conditions. Sales comparison, cost, and income approaches. In the sales comparison approach, which factor is most critical when selecting comparable properties? Is it A, age of the property, B, location of the property, C, number of bedrooms, or D, type of roofing material? The answer is B, location of the property. In the sales comparison approach, location is crucial as it directly influences property value. Similar properties in different locations can have significantly different values. What is the primary purpose of the cost approach in property valuation? Is it A, to estimate the value based on replacement cost minus depreciation, B, to determine market trends, C, to assess rental income potential, or D, to compare multiple properties in the same area? The answer is A, to estimate the value based on replacement cost minus depreciation. The cost approach estimates property value by calculating the cost to replace or reproduce the property minus depreciation plus land value, making it useful for new or unique properties. Which method is primarily used to value income-producing properties? Is it A, sales comparison approach, B, cost approach, C, income approach, or D, market analysis? The answer is C, income approach. The income approach is used for income-producing properties by analyzing potential income, expenses, and capitalization rate to determine value. When using the sales comparison approach, what is an adjustment for time of sale intended to address? Is it A, differences in property size, B, variations in property condition, C, disparities in amenities, or D, market changes over time? The answer is D, market changes over time. Adjustments for time of sale account for market changes between the sale of comparables and the valuation date, ensuring accurate comparisons. Maine financing. Mortgage loans and financing options. What is the primary purpose of a fixed-rate mortgage in Maine? Is it A, to provide lower initial interest rates than adjustable-rate mortgages, B, to offer predictable monthly payments over the life of the loan, C, to allow for interest rate adjustments based on market conditions, or D, to reduce the total interest paid over the loan term? The answer is B, to offer predictable monthly payments over the life of the loan. A fixed-rate mortgage offers a stable interest rate over the loan's term, providing predictability in monthly payments. This stability helps borrowers plan their finances without worrying about fluctuating interest rates. Which type of mortgage in Maine is typically best for short-term homeowners? Is it A, adjustable-rate mortgage, B, fixed-rate mortgage, C, balloon mortgage, or D, interest-only mortgage? The answer is A, adjustable-rate mortgage. Adjustable-rate mortgages often start with lower interest rates, making them suitable for buyers who plan to sell before the rate adjusts. This can be cost-effective for short-term ownership. What is a key feature of a government-backed FHA loan in Maine? Is it A, requires a high credit score for approval? B, offers variable interest rates? C, allows for lower down payments compared to conventional loans? Or D, exclusively available to veterans? The answer is C, allows for lower down payments compared to conventional loans. FHA loans are designed to help lower income and first-time buyers by offering lower down payment requirements and more lenient credit score criteria, making homeownership more accessible. How does a USDA loan benefit eligible rural homebuyers in Maine? Is it A, requires a substantial down payment? B, offers higher interest rates than conventional loans? C, is limited to urban areas? Or D, provides 100% financing with no down payment requirement? The answer is D, provides 100% financing with no down payment requirement. USDA loans offer 100% financing, meaning no down payment is required. This benefit makes it easier for rural homebuyers to purchase a home without immediate large cash reserves. Loan applications and approval processes. What is the first step a borrower should take when applying for a loan in Maine? Is it A, submit a loan application to the lender? B, check their credit score? C, gather financial documents? Or D, choose a lender? The answer is B, check their credit score. The initial step involves evaluating one's credit score to understand eligibility and potential interest rates. This helps borrowers prepare and improve their chances for approval. Which factor is not typically considered by lenders during the loan approval process in Maine? Is it A, credit score? B, debt-to-income ratio? C, educational background? Or D, income stability? The answer is C, educational background. Lenders consider income, credit score, and debt-to-income ratio, but not the borrower's educational background during loan approval. How does the debt-to-income ratio impact loan approval in Maine? Is it A, it shows the borrower's ability to manage additional debt? B, it determines the interest rate of the loan? C, it is irrelevant to loan approval processes? Or D, it sets the maximum loan amount? The answer is A, it shows the borrower's ability to manage additional debt. A lower debt-to-income ratio indicates a borrower can manage additional debt, making them more likely to be approved for a loan. What documentation is essential for a loan application in Maine? Is it A, educational certificates? B, marriage license? C, vehicle registration? Or D, proof of income? The answer is D, proof of income. Proof of income, such as pay stubs or tax returns, is critical in assessing a borrower's ability to repay the loan.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Maine mortgage disclosure requirements. What is the primary purpose of the Maine mortgage disclosure requirements? Is it A, to provide lenders with more flexibility in loan terms? B, to expedite the mortgage approval process? C, to ensure borrowers are fully informed about loan terms? Or D, to reduce the interest rates on mortgages? The answer is C, to ensure borrowers are fully informed about loan terms. The Maine mortgage disclosure requirements aim to ensure borrowers are fully informed about the terms and conditions of their mortgage, promoting transparency and protecting consumers from predatory lending practices. Which document must be provided to a borrower under Maine's mortgage disclosure requirements? Is it A, loan estimate? B, credit score report? C, property appraisal? Or D, title insurance policy? The answer is A, loan estimate. The loan estimate is a mandatory document that provides borrowers with important information about their mortgage, including estimated interest rates, monthly payments, and closing costs. How soon must the closing disclosure be provided to the borrower before closing? Is it A, 1 business day, B, 3 business days, C, 5 business days, or D, 7 business days? The answer is B, 3 business days. Under Maine's regulations, the closing disclosure must be provided to the borrower at least 3 business days before the loan closes, ensuring they have time to review the final loan terms. What information is not typically included in the loan estimate under Maine's mortgage disclosure rules? Is it A, interest rates, B, monthly payments, C, closing costs, or D, borrower's employment history? The answer is D, borrower's employment history. The loan estimate includes interest rates, monthly payments, and closing costs, but does not typically include the borrower's employment history, which is gathered during the loan application process. Maine-specific loan programs. What is the primary purpose of the Maine Housing First Home Loan Program? Is it A, to provide housing for low-income renters, B, to assist first-time homebuyers with affordable loans, C, to fund real estate investors in Maine, or D, to support commercial property development? The answer is B, to assist first-time homebuyers with affordable loans. The Maine Housing First Home Loan Program is designed to help first-time homebuyers affordably purchase a home by offering competitive interest rates and down payment assistance, making homeownership more accessible. Which of the following is a characteristic of the Maine Housing Advantage program? Is it A, provides loans for vacation homes, B, offers grants for home renovations, C, assists with down payment and closing costs, or D, funds large-scale housing projects? The answer is C, assists with down payment and closing costs. The Maine Housing Advantage program offers down payment and closing cost assistance to eligible homebuyers, making it easier for them to purchase a home by reducing upfront costs. What eligibility criterion is unique to the Maine Housing First Home Loan Program? Is it A, must be a first-time homebuyer, B, must own a business in Maine, C, must have a credit score above 800, or D, must have lived in Maine for over 10 years? The answer is A, must be a first-time homebuyer. To qualify for the Maine Housing First Home Loan Program, applicants must be first-time homebuyers, ensuring the program supports those entering the housing market for the first time. Which Maine-specific loan program offers incentives for energy-efficient homes? Is it A, Maine Housing First Home Loan, B, Maine Housing Advantage, C, Maine Housing Renovation Loan, or D, Maine Housing Green Home Advantage? The answer is D, Maine Housing Green Home Advantage. The Maine Housing Green Home Advantage program provides incentives for energy-efficient homes, encouraging sustainable building practices and reducing energy costs for homeowners. Maine State Housing Authority. What is the primary role of the Maine State Housing Authority? Is it A, to provide affordable housing options for low and moderate income families, B, to regulate real estate broker licensing in Maine, C, to manage public transportation systems in Maine, or D, to oversee the construction of luxury apartments? The answer is A, to provide affordable housing options for low and moderate income families. The MSHA primarily aims to provide affordable housing options for Maine residents, focusing on low and moderate income families. It achieves this through various programs and financial assistance initiatives. Which of the following programs is not typically offered by the Maine State Housing Authority? Is it A, first-time homebuyer assistance, B, rental assistance. C. Weatherization assistance. Or D. Commercial property development. The answer is D. Commercial property development. MSHA offers programs like first-time homebuyer assistance and rental assistance, but does not involve itself in commercial property development, which is outside its scope. How does the Maine State Housing Authority assist first-time homebuyers? Is it A, by providing free homes to eligible families? B, by offering low-interest loans and down payment assistance? C, by paying the closing costs for all buyers? Or D, by guaranteeing mortgage approval for all applicants? The answer is B, by offering low-interest loans and down payment assistance. MSHA assists first-time homebuyers by offering low-interest loans and down payment assistance, making homeownership more accessible for low and moderate-income families in Maine. What type of housing does the Maine State Housing Authority prioritize in its programs? Is it A, luxury housing for high-income individuals? B, commercial real estate developments? C, affordable housing for low to moderate income families? Or D, historical building preservation? The answer is C, affordable housing for low to moderate income families. MSHA prioritizes affordable housing for low to moderate income families, ensuring that housing is accessible to those who might otherwise struggle to find suitable accommodations. Maine disclosure requirements and forms. Maine-specific disclosure requirements. What is the purpose of the Maine Seller Property Disclosure Form? Is it A, to assess the market value of the property? B, to disclose known defects and conditions of the property? C, to calculate property taxes? Or D, to outline the terms of the sale agreement? The answer is B, to disclose known defects and conditions of the property. The Maine Seller Property Disclosure Form is designed to provide buyers with a comprehensive overview of a property's condition, ensuring transparency and informed decision-making in real estate transactions. When must the Maine lead paint disclosure be provided to potential buyers? Is it A, before the sale agreement is finalized? B, after the inspection period? C, at the closing of the sale? Or D, only if requested by the buyer? The answer is A, before the sale agreement is finalized. The Maine lead paint disclosure must be provided to buyers before the sale agreement is finalized, ensuring they are aware of any potential lead hazards in homes built before 1978. Which of the following is not a requirement of the Maine Real Estate Commission's property disclosure? Is it A, presence of hazardous materials? B, known structural defects? C, water supply and sewage disposal? Or D, seller's personal financial information? The answer is D, seller's personal financial information. The Maine Real Estate Commission requires disclosures about property conditions, defects, and hazards, but not the seller's personal financial information, which is considered private. How often must the Maine Property Disclosure Statement be updated during a property listing? Is it A, every 6 months? B, annually? C, whenever there are changes to the property's condition? Or D, only before the closing date? The answer is C, whenever there are changes to the property's condition. The Maine Property Disclosure Statement must be updated whenever there are changes to the property's condition, ensuring buyers receive the most accurate and current information possible. Commonly used Maine forms. Which form is required by Maine law to be provided to buyers to disclose known defects in the property? Is it A, Maine Property Disclosure Form? B, Maine Lead Paint Disclosure Form? C, Maine Purchase and Sale Agreement? Or D, Maine Agency Disclosure Form? The answer is A, Maine Property Disclosure Form. The Maine Property Disclosure Form is mandatory for sellers to disclose any known defects or issues with the property to potential buyers, ensuring transparency and informed decision-making. What is the purpose of the Maine Lead Paint Disclosure Form? Is it A, to disclose property boundary issues, B, to inform about lead-based paint hazards, C, to outline financing options available, or D, to list home inspection results? The answer is B, to inform about lead-based paint hazards. The Maine Lead Paint Disclosure Form is used to inform potential buyers or tenants about the presence of lead-based paint in properties built before 1978, ensuring compliance with federal regulations. When must the Maine Agency Disclosure Form be presented to a client? Is it A, at closing, B, after the purchase agreement is signed, C, at the first substantive contact, or D, during the property inspection? The answer is C, at the first substantive contact. The Maine Agency Disclosure Form must be presented at the first substantive contact with a client, ensuring they understand the nature of the agent's representation and any potential conflicts of interest. Which form is used to outline the terms of a property sale in Maine? Is it A, Maine Property Disclosure Form, B, Maine Lead Paint Disclosure Form, C, Maine Agency Disclosure Form, or D, Maine Purchase and Sale Agreement? The answer is D, Maine Purchase and Sale Agreement. The Maine Purchase and Sale Agreement is a legally binding contract that outlines the terms and conditions agreed upon by the buyer and seller for the transaction of a property. Specific procedures for transactions. What is the primary purpose of the Maine Real Estate Commission's Property Disclosure Form? Is it A, to disclose known material defects to potential buyers, B, to guarantee the property is free of defects, C, to provide a valuation of the property, or D, to outline the financial history of the seller? The answer is A, to disclose known material defects to potential buyers. The Maine Real Estate Commission's Property Disclosure Form is designed to inform potential buyers of any known material defects in a property, ensuring transparency and informed decision-making. When must the Maine Property Disclosure Form be provided to prospective buyers? Is it A, after the closing of the sale, B, before or during the preparation of a written offer, C, during the home inspection process, or D, only if requested by the buyer? The answer is B, before or during the preparation of a written offer. The Property Disclosure Form must be provided to potential buyers before or during the preparation of a written offer, ensuring they have all necessary information before making a purchase. Which of the following is not required to be disclosed under Maine's property disclosure requirements? Is it A, known lead paint hazards, B, material defects in the structure, C, neighborhood crime rates, or D, water supply issues? The answer is C, neighborhood crime rates. Maine's property disclosure requirements do not mandate the disclosure of neighborhood crime rates, as they focus on the physical condition and defects of the property itself. What is the consequence if a seller in Maine fails to provide the required property disclosure form? Is it A, the buyer can automatically reduce the purchase price, B, the sale is automatically void, C, the seller must pay double the property tax, or D, the buyer may seek rescission or damages? The answer is D, the buyer may seek rescission or damages. Failure to provide the required disclosure form can result in legal action against the seller, including potential rescission of the sale or financial penalties.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit Birdsy.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsy, your AI-powered study partner.